The Patterson Company saw a sharp decline in the 1930s. There are multiple factors that played into this decline, but the Great Depression was one of the driving factors. Many small and large businesses struggled during this time. Patterson Company was not immune to this struggle. Other factors included introduction of school bus standards and the rise of large competitors. Another major factor was Frederick's death in 1932. He had been the driving force behind the business. The company passed to Frederick's sons, and they were plagued by a host of complications that they could not overcome. Lastly, there was a lack of capital and sufficient credit. They couldn't afford to retool the shop properly and retrain employees for all metal construction. By 1938, the Pattersons knew that all hopes of the business surviving in Greenfield had been lost, so they reluctantly made the decision to move the company to Gallipolis, Ohio. They agreed to change the name to Gallia Body Company in exchange for funding, but retained the slogan Patterson Built. Things did not improve for the company, so finally they decided to close the company doors for the final time in 1939 after 74 years in the vehicle building business. Fast forwarding to July 22nd, 2021, C.R. Patterson and Frederick Douglass Patterson, the first two generations of family to run the Patterson Company, were inducted into the Automotive Hall of Fame in Detroit. This honor was bestowed on them for their contributions to the transportation industry and for Frederick being the first Black manufacturer of automobiles. This demonstrated that the Patterson contribution to history mattered, and while generally fallen by the wayside for 80 years after they closed the factory, a long overdue recognition of their efforts has finally come to light, and their story will live on. There's a lot of story to tell about the Patterson family and company from the 1830s to the 1930s. These videos have only touched on some of the highlights of the story. The finer details are covered in the book, The C.R. Patterson and Sons Company, Black Pioneers in the Vehicle Building Industry, 1865 to 1939. The second edition of the book, just released in September of 2022, was the result of additional in-depth research at the request of a screenwriter with hopes to bring the Patterson story to the big screen. Don't let the transportation theme of this story fool you. There are many details and topics in this book that would spark the interest of many readers. For more information, please visit the website for the book. The book is available through links on the website or directly from Amazon.